In this video, I'm going to compare the really expensive AirPods Pro versus the budget-friendly Tribit Flybuds 1. So not only I'm going to give you my experience on how they both sound, but I'm going to tell you how they are in everyday situations. So as I was listening to music, I used these two headphones to compare back to back at the same volume, and the biggest difference is the volume. When I had the Flybuds 1 on, they sound so much more louder, the bass is so much better, it's much more heavier, it's more punchier, and for something so small, they sound really big. So if you love loud and bassy music, then the Flybuds 1s will not disappoint. For the AirPods Pro, every time when I switch back to them, I realized that they sound so much more distant and more quiet. So I tend to want to increase the volume each time I put them back on, just to kind of match up with the same volume on the Flybuds 1. It's like I'm trying to fill up the empty space that the Flybuds 1 had. But I will say the clarity is a little bit better on the AirPods, and the sound separation between the vocals and mids are better as well. It's not that much better, but it's just something I noticed, and you have to really listen for it. Now, in terms of everyday situations outside of the music experience, the AirPods Pro is so much better in convenience. Active noise cancellation is of course the best thing about the AirPods Pro. When I'm at the cafe trying to work up on a script, there are times where I just don't want to listen to music, I want to block out all the noise I can, having that ANC on is really helpful. And having transparency mode is really cool to have too, because when I'm going up to the cashier just to check something out or just listen to a short announcement, just having that mode or easily access it is a really nice thing to have. Another convenient thing the AirPods do have is that when you take one off the air, whatever you're listening to will stop. And of course, if you want to take off the AirPods out the case, it's also easier as well. Now for gestures, I do prefer the weight on the AirPods just because for me, I just don't like pushing earbuds inside my ear. It creates this weird pressure, and also it makes the music sound a little bit weird while I'm doing it. For the AirPods Pro, they offer a lot of the basic needs in a really small package. I mean, it doesn't have the best sound quality or the best ANC, but for its size and what it offers, it's pretty impressive. For the case, I would say it's pretty slippery. There are times where it actually slipped out of my hand and it dropped right to the floor, so you will expect to have some normal wear and tear or scratches on the case. Now, moving on to Flybuds 1, how are they like using in everyday situations? Well, it's really easy to put them back in a case. There's no guesswork because they are shaped the same. So I can quickly put them back in a case and don't have to worry about it. Next time when I open them back up, I can easily see the L and R, so I'll just put them in the right side of my ears. And these earbuds feel really light in the ears, and of course they are really small, so they don't capture as much attention as the AirPods Pro. Now for the case, it is pretty bulky for its size, and it does stick out if you put it in your pocket. For me, I just love the material on this. It's so grippy and it feels really solid in the hands. And I like how they put a tab on the case, so you can actually put a carabiner on there and hook it onto anything you want. Now both of these cases can wirelessly charge. The thing about the Flybuds 1 is that the LED light indication is inside the case, so you would have to open it each time to check when it's fully charged. So the convenience factor is not as convenient as the AirPods Pro. Now the volume on the Flybuds 1 are really loud, so it does block out a lot of the external sound. So you don't really hear the buses or the trains or cars going by, so which is a good thing, but it's only good when you're listening to something. But if you're not listening to anything, ANC is really helpful at that department, which it doesn't have. Now for my conclusion, I think the biggest selling point on the Flybuds 1 is the really bass and heavy sound. And also for me in my preference, I do love the case way better than the AirPods Pro. Now if you are in the Apple ecosystem, it's obvious that you should just get the AirPods Pro because it would make your whole life way more convenient. So if you do want the better music experience, I would hands down pick the Flybuds 1. Now for me, I would pick the convenience factor, so the AirPods Pro would be my pick. I know it doesn't have the best sound, but it's nice to know that there are way cheaper headphones that sound better. I do use the iPhone and iPad on the daily, so it's nice to be able to switch over really easily without any hassle. Like I said, their ecosystem is just on point. Now if you do own the AirPods Pro already and you still want the better music experience, then check out the Flybuds 1, because if you can afford the AirPods Pro, I'm pretty sure you can afford a Flybuds 1. So that is my comparison between these two earbuds. If you do want to check these out, I do have the links down below. Please follow me on Instagram, give a like, subscribe, hit the bell, and thanks for watching.